Dr. Katz, so good to see you today. Thanks for coming to join us at the Kyiv Post.
Well, good to be here and good to see you, my former student, again, and amazed that you're in Kyiv doing great things.
Thank you. So there's been a lot of talk recently that the situation for Putin might not be stable in the Kremlin. How do you see what's going on? Is there actually a chance of a coup or something like that?
I think it's a real possibility. I just think that because the war is going so badly and there are different factions in Moscow who are eager to blame each other, that I think that the different forces have to worry about the other ones trying to seize power, and therefore they have to be prepared in case something happens.
Well, if that were to happen, how do you think it would play out? Who would be involved in this?
I think basically all of them are going to be involved. That I think that Putin essentially, like a lot of dictators, he doesn't trust his own people. He plays them off against each other. That he can do this for a long time until he can't, and then I think it's a question of inter-elite conflict. And at this point, one or more of them will try to appeal to the public. And I think that the issue of why the war is going so badly is going to be paramount, and everyone's going to blame everyone else. And this could help precipitate change.
Do you think that Prigozhin's open criticisms of Shogu is a symbol of this or a sign of that? And do you think that that might actually turn to criticizing Putin at some point?
Well, I think that the fact that Prigozhin is brave enough to do this shows that he's not afraid of Shoigu. And in fact, if I were Shoigu, I'd be very afraid that Prigozhin is saying this kind of thing. Someone like me who remembers the Soviet days, whenever you had any leader criticizing another leader, this was a symbol of a real power struggle going on. And I think that Prigozhin, that everyone else has to worry about him, and just to save themselves, they need to do something to undermine him.
That's interesting. And do you think, how would this play out? How about, for instance, Kadyrov? What would happen with Kadyrov?
I think Kadyrov, to the extent he's loyal just to Putin, not to Russia. I wouldn't put it past Kadyrov to think that maybe he can seize control of all Russia. Probably not going to happen. But at the very least, I think that if Putin's not going to be around, then I think he can we'll try to take the whole North Caucasus out of Russia with himself as the emir.
And how do you see this in terms of the war? Putin went into this. What was he thinking? Why did he get it so wrong? What was the thought process?
Well, I think that Putin basically he came to believe his own propaganda that most Ukrainians were really good Russians and wanted to be part of Russia, and that there were only a few who didn't, who were, of course, fascists, and that therefore, when the Russians invaded, they'd be welcomed by the Ukrainian population. And I think that we know in retrospect that this is what he actually expected, and he had to shake up the intelligence people afterwards. But once he launched the conflict and faced this fierce Ukrainian resistance, he can't believe that it's continuing. I think he feels that at a certain point he will wear either Ukraine down, or if not Ukraine, wear down the West, and Western support for Ukraine will come to an end. Or be diminished. And so I think that for Putin, he can't win, but he can't afford to lose either, because if he does, then I think his days are numbered.
Fascinating. Well, thank you for your time today.
All right. Thank you.